Hi, this is Kim Sealing-Smith, founder and chief engagement officer of Ignite Global. I spend a lot of my time teaching companies how to hire better people and save money doing it. I help them wean themselves away from traditional job boards and recruiters and utilize the newest technologies and methodologies to find the best people for the job, not just the best available at that time. If you've ever seen me speak, you've undoubtedly seen some version of this graphic. This is all of the various sources that you can and should be using to fill roles and, more importantly, to proactively map out and meet top talent in your marketplace. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to focus on one particular aspect of this model: using social media. Specifically, using the most powerful professional social media platform available: LinkedIn. No, LinkedIn doesn't pay me a commission for recommending them, but I do a lot because it's not only the most powerful tool to recruit with today, it can also be used to talent pool or pipeline depending on the part of the world that you're in. Talent pooling or pipelining will become a necessity as the skill shortage tightens, which it's expected to do through the year 2028. Getting to know and keeping track of top talent in your marketplace, whom you can shoulder tap when your company's needs intersect with their career goals, will in some cases be the only way that you can stay ahead of your competitors in sourcing top talent. But that's another video. Today, what I want to talk about in the next few minutes, I'm going to give you as detailed an overview as I possibly can to get you started using LinkedIn to your advantage. What we'll be talking about. First of all, membership levels. What type of membership is right for you? Well, in part that depends on the size of company that you are, but also it really depends on how many people you're hiring. So I'll go over all of that. The second thing that we'll be talking about is setting up a great profile. This is where it all starts. Without a robust profile, you're not going to be as attractive as you want to be to those top talents, top candidates that you're trying to recruit. I'll talk about setting up a company page for both large and small companies, using groups to attract candidates, posting jobs, and finally, where the real power comes from LinkedIn, searching those passive job seekers, searching those people that aren't actively looking now, but those people that you want to develop a relationship with so that you can shoulder tap when the time is right for both you and for them. So let's talk about membership levels first. There are several different options for both large companies and small companies. This shows the options for smaller companies. You join as an individual member. Now you can see that I'm logged in as myself, and you can see that I and my company Ignite Global have a basic business premium plan. There are two levels up from my current plan, which allows you to A, use more InMails. I'll talk about InMails in a second. And B, have additional search capabilities. So a word about InMails. InMails are just like regular emails, except that they have to be read in order for them to be counted. In other words, I have 10 per month on my plan. If I send out 10, but only 5 are opened and read, the other 5 are credited back to my account, and I can send out 5 more within that month and still not exceed my monthly allotment of 10. Isn't that cool? The downside of this type of membership, though, is that you can only send InMails to people that you are connected to. However, if you can find someone who knows the person that you'd like to contact, you can send them an InMail and ask for an introduction. One of the many advantages of LinkedIn Recruiter, which is a completely separate site to LinkedIn, you need to log in where that arrow is pointing, is that with a recruiter's license, you can send InMails to anyone, anywhere in the world who is on LinkedIn. Now, I don't know how many millions of people that encompasses now, but I do know that over 2 people per second are joining LinkedIn worldwide as we speak. So how do you get a recruiter's license? Well, you have to call LinkedIn and talk to one of their salespeople. So I can't tell you what type of membership is best for you. Again, it depends on how many people you'll hire over the course of the year and what functionality you want. But this is a brief overview of the recruiter product. Like I said, it's a completely separate part of LinkedIn. This is a slide I stole from a LinkedIn presentation to one of my clients, and it presents a nice graphic of the types of functionality that you get with LinkedIn Recruiter. First, you pay for the number of seats or licenses that your company has. This is dependent on how many people use LinkedIn directly to recruit. Secondly, you pay for the number of job slots. Now, this is pretty nifty. Think of a job slot as a parking space. So if you have 5 slots available, you can have 5 jobs posted at any one time. You can post one and take it down the next week, replacing it with another. You never have to pay any more. Since it's the same slot, it's considered the same job. You can also select who sees your ads by targeting your audience. So you're not limited with the type of functions that you advertise for in each job slot. The job slot can be used to hire for administrative assistants one week, salespeople the next week, engineers the next week, IT people the next week. It doesn't matter. The level of your membership, silver or gold, will determine the features that you have on your career page tab on your company page. I'll show you that in a minute. And then finally, you can also have access to what's called the WOO, which is a personalized job branding. I think the acronym should actually be WWU instead of WUU, because what it stands for is Work With Us. This is an example of the WOO functionality. So let's say I'm Erica Robertson. I have no idea who Erica Robertson is. This again is a LinkedIn slide. But Erica Robertson is a structural engineer. And let's say that I, Erica, happen to be looking at Todd Halliday's LinkedIn profile. Todd's actually a client of mine. So I would see myself on the right-hand side of Todd's page. This is the WOO. This is the Work With Us functionality. It's pretty effective, actually. Enough about the various facets of LinkedIn Recruiter. What I want to do now is move into my top tips for using LinkedIn to recruit candidates regardless of whether you're a sole proprietor, a small business, or a large multinational. Believe it or not, it starts with your profile. A great LinkedIn presence starts with a great profile because most, if not all, candidates whom you find on LinkedIn will look at your profile. They'll be evaluating you as a potential boss or a potential coworker. Many of the same guidelines apply when writing a profile to attract potential employees as well as potential job opportunities. You want to have a professional but inviting looking picture. You want it to be friendly, but again professional. You want to make sure that your contact information is up to date. Make it easy for people to get in touch with you if they want to talk to you. And you want to have a great summary. Now this is the summary section. This is quite a long section, and it's possibly the most important part of your profile. You can be a bit casual here. Use the first person if you'd like. Talk a bit about what you do for the company and make it sound interesting. But you can also put in testimonials and some personal color. Anything really, as long as it's compelling and attractive to the type of employee that you want to attract. LinkedIn has a how-to guide, 10 steps on writing a winning profile, and it's actually quite useful. So I'd go into their help section and download that. Now, this is a section that I absolutely love. As you can see at the end of your profile, you can actually upload videos and documents. So I use it obviously to promote my show reel or promote some of the training videos that I have to give people tips on various aspects of what I teach. But you could use it to post white papers or video trainings that you've done or interviews that you've done, really anything. It's fairly new and it's really powerful. Very, very easy to upload things. Now, you want to make sure that your experience is complete. A 2 to 4 sentence overview of the role, just scrolling down my roles. But more importantly, you want to list some achievements. Now, you want to round out your profile, certainly with your education, with your interests, and yes, I do play the bass clarinet. I started playing the bass clarinet after a 34-year absence last year, and I absolutely love it. You also want to list honors and awards, any organizations that you've been involved in, and recommendations. These are so important. This is social proof. The next thing to consider when recruiting candidates on LinkedIn is your own company page. Every company, regardless of size, can put a company page up on LinkedIn. It's really easy. You just go to the Companies tab under Interests. So we'll go there now, Companies. And you want to click Add a Company. And then it's just a matter of filling in the blanks. You can add a company description and graphic on the main page and add in all of your products and services on the Products and Services page. I'll show you a company page for a company that has a LinkedIn Recruiter's license, and this is a client of mine. So not only as you can see, you have the same functionality as you do with the free one. You've got a home page, and you are able to list a little bit about the company at the very end of their feed. Now, they've done a great job of keeping their feed fresh. This is very important. You want to keep the content of your company homepage fresh by listing articles, by having a news feed similar to what you do on LinkedIn or a Facebook page. But you also have a products and services page, and with LinkedIn Recruiter you have a careers page as well. Now, as you can see, that careers page talks about what your company, how your company is as an employer. You can use this page to post videos of employee testimonial. You can have written testimonials from employees. You can certainly post jobs and much, much more. Again, you have different updates for your careers page than you do for your company homepage. The next thing that I want to talk about is using groups. You want to use groups to establish a presence, to establish credibility within the community of people that you are potentially going to be attracting, but also to find out who's got credibility in that community that you might like to attract. So how do you go into groups? If you haven't gone into groups yet, you go into interest and then groups. Now, this is a list of all of my groups. One of the groups that I'm the most active in is the Australian Human Resources Institute, since I split my time between Australia and the United States. Now, if I go into my activity, you can see that I've posted one discussion recently, but I've started a number of discussions over the last few months. You can not only post articles and post discussions, but you can comment on other discussions. Again, it's a way of raising your own brand profile, your personal profile from your personal LinkedIn page, but that will feed into your company page. Now let's talk about posting jobs. This is a bit different as an individual than it is if you have a LinkedIn Recruiter's license, but not much. The functionality is basically the same. It's just where you access the job post form from, the normal LinkedIn site or the Recruiter site. Let's look at the normal LinkedIn jobs function. You can find that under Business Tools, Post a Job. All you do is fill in the blanks. It's really that simple. Now, if you scroll down to the very end, you can see that you can post one job, which is a 30-day posting. You can buy a pack of 5 or a pack of 10. These 5 and 10 packs, I believe, last for a year. The real power of LinkedIn, though, is through the candidate search function. So let's go into the candidate search function. And all you do is you click Advanced next to the search box. Without the recruiter's license, you can search everyone up to 2 or 3 levels of connection from you. Depending on your number of connections, that can be in the millions. So you simply go into advanced search and fill in the blanks, as you can see. Some of the fields to the right are only available with upgraded memberships, but these are individual membership levels, not the recruiter's license. So if you're interested in some of these, searching by some of these criteria, then investigate upgrading the level above the $40 a month level that I have. You do get exponentially more power with the LinkedIn Recruiter's license. You can search for virtually anyone without being limited by your own connections. You can also save candidates' profiles to look at them later, tag with keywords, set up projects, and use LinkedIn Recruiter as an applicant tracking system. But even with the basic search function, it's really quite powerful. Even though you can only see up to 3 levels of connection, again, that could be in the millions. When you approach passive candidates, you might want to consider a more gentle approach. LinkedIn itself has some great resources on how to contact passive candidates whom you might find interesting. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Mapping and tracking the passive candidate market and then developing relationships with those who might be a fit for your organization is the only way that many companies will be able to survive the skills shortage. And the time to start learning how to do this effectively is now. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions you might have about using LinkedIn or talent pooling. And if you're interested in learning more about LinkedIn Recruiter, then give them a ring to set up a demo. With over 2 people per second joining LinkedIn at the moment, they may be a bit busy. So if I can help orchestrate an introduction, I'll be happy to do that as well. And again, I don't get paid any commission for doing that. I just really, really believe in the product. So here are my contact details. Link in with me by searching for Kim Sealing Smith and be one of the first to follow our new company page at Ignite Global.